What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's going on with Tesla stock, what's going on with SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers, what the news is saying about Tesla, what's going on with the economic calendar for tomorrow. But before I break anything down all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moon deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed up to 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000 into the account, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks, and this offer ends in just a couple of days. Anyways, now let's break down what's going on with Tesla and the other tickers out there. So looking at Tesla, we had another red day as Tesla's looking relatively weak. And this is happening as a result of a continuation to the downside after Tesla's, very, very big deliveries report. Not to mention the fact that the whole market also sold off, which is acting as an anchor for Tesla. I did warn you guys about this last year. I also talked about this just like last week. So that's very important. I want to first talk about some big data and then what the news is saying about Tesla first before I break down the charts. So right now, I just want to mention that for the market for Thursday, the data is showing that we have initial jobless claims at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, alongside continuing jobless claims. So we want initial jobless claims to be between 216 and 225,000 between the consensus and the forecast. If it's too high, this could be a little bearish, so you just want to watch this very carefully. We also have continuing jobless claims. We want this to be between 1.88 million. It's actually around 1.88 million, not like between the range, because the forecast and consensus are the same for that. So watch that at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, an hour before the market opens. We have some data coming out. And then after that, 15 minutes after market open, we have another PMI report when it comes to the services sector. That's going to be the next piece of data. So watch for some volatility then. And that's pretty much it for data for the day, except for 11:30 a.m. when we have the 4-week and the 8-week bill auction. So that's it for data. We have just 3 moments which data is coming out: an hour before the market opens, 15 minutes after market open for the PMI, and then we also have the bill auctions coming out, which could cause some volatility. So that's it. Nothing is too crazy except for like the jobs numbers coming out in the morning. Everything else is very minor, so we'll see how this affects the markets. Besides that, guys, we also have the fear and greed index. It was at extreme greed. Now it's getting very close to greed. And this is starting to get slowly closer to neutral as the market is continuing to sink and look more and more bearish. There's also this news right over here. This came out from Elon Musk. I want to just talk about this. So when it comes to Elon Musk on Twitter, I'm going to be honest with everyone. I'm not the type of guy that likes to just BS things. The truth is, Elon Musk has a tendency of tweeting a lot about lots of like political stuff and all sorts of things like that. He doesn't tweet as often about Tesla as he used to, from what I'm seeing, at least as of recent and as of the last like few weeks. I'm not seeing as many Tesla related tweets out there compared to how much he tweets every single day. A long time ago, and this is what I remember like from many years ago. He used to have like 10 tweets a day and half of them would just be Tesla related. Now it's not like that. He could have 20 tweets and only 1 or 2 may just involve Tesla. Sometimes none of them do. So that's the reason why you don't really hear me talk as much about Elon Musk. But as of recent, he did say one thing. He did repost this from Tesla. The Tesla 2023 recap was made possible by the hard work and their amazing teams around the world. Tesla's basically thanking its teammates and the others out there, the owners and supporters, for the continuation of their acceleration to the transition of sustainable energy and their growth as time goes on. So this is great from Tesla. They're giving everyone credits and they're being very, very open right here. So it was great that Elon Musk did repost this. I do wish that he would tweet more about Tesla, but I can't really, force anything. So I just want the best for Elon Musk and the entire Tesla team. Hopefully, we see more tweets from Elon Musk in the future, and we'll see how things go as time goes on. As far as Tesla goes, there's some news that came out that Tesla's expanding to the suburb northeast of the Austin Gigafactory. This is some good news. This is like 30 miles away, and there's basically a 36,000 square foot site somewhere in Austin, Texas, and this was basically full of Teslas now, and Tesla's going to likely be occupying another strip of land. So we'll see what Tesla does with this. This could be related to their clean energy motive. This could involve Tesla Solar or something like that. So we'll just have to wait and see. This is what the state filings are basically showing. This is confirmed by Hutto officials. That's important because now Tesla is once again getting involved, and they're getting more and more involved in Austin. So that is, decent news. Maybe Tesla will do something with that land that's very significant or not. So we'll see. But besides that, there's more news coming out about the Cybertruck becoming one of the most American-made pickup trucks, which is technically true. Looking at how they're assembling everything, at least within the U.S. and building it is very, very awesome. I mean, I actually saw one on the road again. Very, very cool. They look very, very futuristic, very awesome. They look like moving spacecrafts. So awesome to see this. And this is great news as well for Tesla. Besides that, I didn't see anything else that was that significant on the news, which I haven't mentioned already today. So that's it for the news involving Tesla. Nothing too crazy thus far. The volume was at about 121 million, a little bit above average, nothing too bad, but it's dropping on high volume, and the short volume is actually starting to go up just a little bit. So we're seeing this uptrend in the shorting right now relative to price. Oppenheimer's and analysts that came out, they're saying Tesla is going to perform equally with the markets. Other analysts have been saying that Tesla is going to outperform, but Oppenheimer is saying Tesla will perform equally. The price price ratio is dropping because Tesla's losing strength. It's getting weaker, unfortunately. And on top of all of this, Thursdays tend to be green only about 47% of the time. So it's one of the weaker days of the week historically. Watch for volatility at 2 p.m. specifically. This is when Tesla sees the most volatility. And historically, typically December is weak and January is strong, but now this year is kind of like the opposite. We had a strong December, a strong November for Tesla, but January so far is off to a very weak start because of the reaction from deliveries and also because of the whole market. But it's no surprise as the market was pumping so hard for November and December, almost nonstop. So a little pullback is completely normal and what we were expecting, right? We talked about this just last week as well. So now let's talk about Tesla. How are things looking for the share price? Unfortunately, Tesla's looking bearish again. We have a nice downtrend that's being established, and we can actually expand this if you want into a channel. And although this initially looked like a falling wedge, now it's looking like just a downtrend in this channel, and it looks like Tesla might respect this channel as time goes on. Tesla's also continuing to look very weak when it comes to other technicals. Let me just close a couple of these tabs just for a second. If you look at the daily, we actually broke below the 50 EMA, which is very significant because Tesla's once again showing some weakness. So it looks weak overall. Another 4% today to the downside. It failed to get a significant bounce, and it's continuing to favor the bears. On the weekly time frame, I think it's very important to look at the weekly as well. Tesla is also looking weak on the weekly. If we lose the weekly 20 EMA, that's this 239 area. If we end up closing below that on Friday, Tesla's going to be on its way down towards the much lower 230s. There's going to be a bigger drop coming, and we're going to get a bearish crossover on the PPO. So technicals are favoring the bears. It got this nice rejection off the 50 EMA. It's looking more bearish, and that is the honest truth for now. But let's just talk about some very important things. So right now, Tesla is currently right here at this 238 area. We have resistance at 240. We also have resistance around 242, 244, 247.5, and 250 are going to be our resistance levels. Support's going to be around this 236 to 237 area, 234, 232, and then 230. That's where we're going to be watching for support. How do I think this is going to move? Well, as of right now, okay, if you want to be bullish, let me just draw this out for you so it's very simple to understand. And sorry about all these different lines, guys. I just want to be very meticulous when it comes to support and resistance. A lot of viewers told me that they find that very, very helpful. But here's my reasoning. Basically, if you want to be bullish on Tesla, it's very simple. You want to see it break out of this trend and get back above 244 specifically. You want to see it break above the 4-hour 200 EMA. That's going to be this red line right here at this 244 area. That's if we get back above this, the 200 EMA, we could turn back bullish if we break above 244, right? You want to see that to turn bullish. If you're bearish on Tesla, well, it's basically going to follow the trend and just come like this and just continue to sink back down. You want to see Tesla basically come all the way back down below 235. If we lose that, we could be looking for a move down to 232, followed by 230. So overall, it's going to look bearish. So what do I think it's going to do, though? What is the most likely possibility for Tesla? Honestly, guys, when we have a trend like this, typically you want to presume we're going to likely maintain this trend unless we get some kind of break. And so far, it hasn't gotten the break. So the most likely possibility for tomorrow is, despite initial jobless claims coming out, we might see Tesla gap up and push up towards this upper resistance, just like this, and then just reject and make its way down even lower. It could even trade sideways and start to chop a little bit, but we could be making our way back down towards 233 or even below that 232. So it could be getting very close to the lower 230s. We have a downtrend that's getting stronger, and overall Tesla's looking bearish. Make sure you watch supply and demand, support and resistance, and do what you have to do for Tesla. When it comes to other pieces of news, when it comes to SPY, we also have a downtrend technically. It's basically very similar to Tesla in a way. For us to turn bullish on SPY, you want to see this thing basically break above 470 and 472. If we get above 472, we could be forming a trend reversal. We want to see it get back above there to be bullish. If you're bearish, you want to basically see this thing lose 468. It has to lose this support. So I mapped this out. I made this an orange line. 468 is a very critical support on SPY, guys. It's going to be super, super big. We need to be watching that because when you go on SPY onto the daily time frame right over here, let me show you the daily. That's very close. This 468 area is close to the 20 EMA. This green EMA right here, you guys can see this. This is going to be our key support. We need to hold this. If we lose this, we're going to turn a lot more bearish. If we hold it, there's going to be some maybe a small amount of hope for the bulls, if anything, for the market to try to balance or hold up. There's going to be some hope if we do hold it. So that's why it's going to be very important. But once again, if you want to be bullish, you want to see it break and hold and close above 470 and start breaking out to 472. If you're bearish, you want to see it lose 468. If it loses that and closes below 468 tomorrow, we're going to be bearish. Okay. So hopefully you use this for your analysis. Now, what do I think could happen? The most likely possibility is we kind of pop tomorrow off initial jobless claims and we end up failing. Even if we do kind of come above this, we could just break right back in like this and make our way back down. And if we end up losing this support right over here at 468, you could be looking for a much bigger move to the downside. If we lose 468, by the way, that's going to be our key support. Watch this come down to 467, 465, and eventually 462. There's going to likely not just be a small drop, but a bigger drop if we lose 468. I want to make that very clear. That's going to be a pivotal support. Could we break above it temporarily? Yes, but I think that the most significant thing is going to be a close below 468. So I think the close tomorrow/Friday is going to be really important. That's why it's very important to watch the support. Overall, SPY looks bearish. We're on a downtrend, and it's going to likely continue on the downtrend. So watch 468 as a very, very important level. It's a pivotal level for tomorrow. That's going to be our key support, and we'll see what SPY does. For the QQQ, same thing as SPY. We have a nice downtrend that's being established right here. I did have this drawn out a little bit differently. I'm not going to focus too much on the channel. And so I just want to focus more on kind of like how this is looking. So one could argue that we have this new channel developing like this, and we're actually forming kind of like a wedge. So I could actually make this a little tighter technically, but it doesn't really matter at this point. If anything, I would say that the QQQ is looking kind of bearish. We're on a very, very nice downtrend, and we do favor the bears even more. So I'm going to kind of like ignore these lines for now and just show you the levels because that's going to be a lot more important. QQQ is looking weak because of Apple and partly because of Nvda, which are selling off. If we look at the QQQ right here, I think I have it, whoops, right here. It's very important to note that it's looking kind of weak on the daily as well. It broke below our 20 EMA. That's a big support it just lost. So if you want to be bullish, you want to see it actually close above 402. It has to get back above 402 to favor the bulls. If it fails to do so, it's going to be sinking back down towards, I would say, around 395. And if that fails, 390.41 is our next target at the 50 EMA. So what do I see for the QQQ? Resistance at 400, and then 402 is going to be a very important resistance. I think that's going to be key for us. I'm going to make this orange so you guys can kind of like eye this. Want to get back above the orange line, close above that to turn bullish. If we're bearish, you want to see it basically just lose 395 and make its way down to 390.41 at the 50 EMA. What do I favor? I favor the downside. I think it might rebound tomorrow a little bit, kind of shop around the 400s and make its way back down to 396. Overall, it looks bearish from a technical standpoint, so watch these levels carefully. On Nvidia stock, we're also looking kind of bearish because we're continuing to downtrend. As you can see, we're just continuing to drop and drop. We also have a potential downtrend that's developing like just like this. So this is like becoming our next resistance zone, just like this. And if anything, I would say that Nvidia is still favoring the bears a bit more. I'm going to change the colors of this so it's a little easier to see. If anything, I would say that Nvidia, with this downtrend that's potentially being established, we could see this thing just continue to downtrend and respect this bearish looking structure, because just like SPY, just like Tesla, if you look at the daily, Nvidia is looking kind of weak. Now, one thing that's good about Nvidia is on the daily time frame, we're still holding the 50 EMA. That's going to be at this 473 area. If we hold this, there's going to be potential for this thing to try to balance, try to hold up. If we lose 473, we close below that, so we're going to turn even more bearish. I'm expecting at least 468 or below that. So here are the levels. Sorry if there are too many lines, guys. I'm going to try to make this very simple to understand. Watch 473 as a key support right about here. We need to try to hold that support. So it's actually like right here. I'm going to just redraw this for a second. If we lose that support, we do have some support at 471.5, but I don't think that's going to hold us. If anything, I would say just watch all these different levels. If we lose 475, watch 473. If we lose that, there's 471, then 468 coming as supports. And there's going to likely be a big drop if we lose 473. This is going to be our very important support right over here. If we want to be bullish, you want to see this thing get above 480 and 482 to get a bullish break to the upside. As of right now, it hasn't done that. We're respecting a downtrend, so the odds favor this thing basically testing 473 and eventually breaking down to 468. So Nvidia looks bearish overall. If you want to be bullish, you need to see it break above 480 and close above that. Hasn't done that thus far. I'm going to be watching to see if that could happen, but I still favor the downside on Nvidia. For Apple stock, also looking kind of bearish. We actually have a very nice channel right here. So basically, we're stuck like this. You guys can see you have support at 183.5, resistance at 185. We'll be watching to see which way it breaks. We've been stuck between this range for the last 1.5 days, but overall it's on a downtrend. It's still downtrending. So in my opinion, there's a very good chance that Apple might push a little bit, then make its way back down to 183.5. If that fails us, 182.5 is next. So I think it's going to eventually test that, and it's going to just trade sideways. I see a little bit more downside coming, but with some sideways price action. So watch support and resistance and do what you have to do, guys. With that being said, I'm just going to go over a couple more tickers very quickly. As far as Rivian goes, we're just holding the 50 EMA on the daily time frame. If we lose 20, watch it for a drop towards 18.2. If we bounce off this, watch resistance at 20.8. In my opinion, it looks bearish. It might pop first to 20.8 and then reject and come back down. As far as SoFi goes, this is looking really bearish. We actually lost our 50 EMA on the daily. 7.83 is likely coming. It looks very bearish right now to me. The not QQQ, sorry, IWM. It's looking bearish as well. We have a bearish looking daily candlestick. Could backtest 195, then reject. If you want to be bullish, we need to close above 195, and it could actually try to bounce a little bit. But if we fail to do so, it's going to likely sink lower. The odds do favor it sinking lower looking at the current trend. So if we lose this support right over here around 190, this support right here, 194, you're going to be watching it come down to 190. And if that fails us, 187 is coming next. Looking at Microsoft, this is a kind of flat right now. It could backtest 372, then reject and make its way back down towards 366.8. Overall, it looks bearish. As far as AMD goes, AMD, in my opinion, could backtest 136.5 and then reject. If you want to see this thing turn bullish or at least try to bounce, we want to see it close above 136.5. If you want to be bearish, you want to see this thing basically lose the support that it has right now and just continue to sink. And the odds still actually favor that. So there's a very good chance it's going to end up basically doing that. So we're going to be watching to see. On top of that, I just want to mention that we have something else that's very important. That's going to be the VIX. The VIX right over here is also looking kind of strong right now. It's actually above its 50 EMA, and since it's holding above that very nicely, there's going to be a good chance of it attempting to go up even higher. If we break above the 50 EMA and hold it, there's a good chance the VIX is going to remain bullish. We need to try to hold this 50 EMA. If we do so, it's going to be pushing even higher. The dollar looks bullish. It's going to test 103 soon, in my opinion. This is likely bearish for the stock market. Coinbase is looking like it might backtest 155. We have to close above that to turn bullish. If we kind of reject here and start dropping, watch for a pop and drop back down to 144. Google, it's showing some life, but I would be careful with it since it's losing some momentum. I think it might pop a little bit and make its way down to 136.5. As far as Amazon goes, we're going to be looking for this thing to drop lower. Looks bearish. I think it's going to be testing 147.5, and then eventually 145 is my target. I think Amazon has more downside coming for a 50 EMA test. Meta as well, but Meta is still holding the 20 EMA. If we lose 344 and close below it, watch for it to drop towards 330. It has a gap to fill down to 334, so it looks bearish as well. We'll be watching that as well. But with that being said, thank you all so much for listening. Most tickers out there look bearish, but watch support very carefully, especially for Tesla and SPY. I hope this video brought value into your guys' trading lives. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning during the pre-market, and peace out.